Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to our channel, Handmade by Ying with Donna. Tonight is September the 1st. Can you believe it? Labor Day. And I hope that you all have had an amazing day. So let me slip into the chat real quick when I can get my mouse moving to me, and we'll give it a go and welcome everyone. Where you can see, Joe said, good evening, everyone. Debbie, I'm the first one here. Yay me, she said. Hi, Debbie. Michelle Crafton Moore. I really thought she beat you. I don't know why. Melanie Taylor, good evening. Melanie, Michelle, are you feeling any better? Is that correct? You were feeling down. I'm not sure. Candace, hello, everyone. Not feeling down, Melanie. I'm doing really good. Awesome. Teresa Louise is in the house. Melanie, well, I thought, wait a minute. Well, I had touched my medium over the last 2 months. Well, that changed, cleaned, and oiled, and it still works. Awesome. Let me see. I'm just going to skim the chat. Last school year seemed like I was always sick, and not anymore. Not around all the sick kids in the nasty bus. Makes sense. Melanie, cool. Glad to hear that you're doing well. Donna Bogart's in the house. Hello, sweetie, and welcome. Dave, thank you for coming tonight and modding, and Teresa Louise as well. Charlotte, hello, honey, and welcome. Donnell, she made it home safe and sound, and I'm so thankful for that. Hi, Dave, doing well. Always Charlotte. Gay Ford, good evening, everyone. I made it to tonight's live. Awesome. Amy C, hi, everyone. Pat Strawhouse is in the house tonight. Hello, Miss Pat. Rachel, hello. If I miss anybody, I'm sorry. Let me see. I'm just skimming. Zaza's in the house. Not much labor happening here. I'm telling you, you've been unpacking and getting settled. To me, that's a lot of labor. Let me see. Just skimming really quick. Donna, what's wrong? Are you feeling okay? I'll fill you in on that in just a minute. I love to sew. Thank you for coming, sweetheart. Mitzi's in the house. And let me see. Want to make sure. Donna, are you good? Yeah, I'm good, sweetheart. Anne-Marie, thanks for asking. Let me see. Turned out my body and mind doesn't bounce back the next day like it used to when we were 20. Exactly. And Sherry, hello, sweetie, and welcome. Let me see. Let me put this back here. And yeah, I woke up yesterday. First and foremost, let me tell you, thank you all for the birthday love. I really had a good day. Worked here on the home front. Joe took me out for a nice dinner, and we just really just spent the day together. All the kids were busy and the grandkids were busy, so we just hunkered down and just relaxed. Joe took me out to a nice steak dinner, and I'm thankful and blessed. I couldn't ask for anything more, and all the love that you guys have shared. And sometime during the night, I just couldn't get warm. Not with the electric blanket, not with the heat, nothing. So the girls got something going on, and I worked for a little while today and went down and slept a long time. And Joe woke me up right before the live. So if I look a hot mess, honestly, I'm sorry tonight. It's just respiratory something's going on, and I still can't get warm. But it's okay. I'm here, we're going to sew, and we're going to have a good time. So tonight's live is all about the star block in these cool looking squirrels. And I changed the way that I was thinking. I was going to do this, remember, in this white creamish color I have here. I was doing the first block in this color. And it just didn't have enough here to really make these pop. So I changed my mind, picked out the blocks that I had done, and now I'm doing them with this. It's a fall looking block, and I think it does it more justice like this. So let me know in the chat if you like it better with the dark or the light. I'm just curious if I'm on the right track here. Let me see. Donna got a birthday present she didn't want. Yeah, I did. That's absolutely gorgeous block. Thank you, Donna. You look great, but you don't sound great, though. Whatever it is, it's all like right in here. And this too shall pass. Life, we catch whatever's going around. So anyway, let's square some blocks. I took the liberty today and just sat and worked on making flying geese a little bit. And so I have several of them, as you can tell, made, but I have not squared them down because I like this ruler, and I really wanted to just show you how easy these rulers are to use. I like it with the dark. I do too. Looking good. Glad you like the fabric. Liked it. My goodness. I loved it, Stephanie. Thank you so much. She's one of the ones that sent, and I'm telling you what, out of it, we're going to have a quilt when this is done, and I really appreciate you sending it. I like the dark. Yeah, I like the dark. Yeah, the dark really, I think, makes it look a lot better. Hot tea and honey and elevates to keep from getting the pneumonia. Absolutely. So anyway, the Fallon rulers is what I've dubbed these. Honestly, that's not what it's called. This is the Flying Geese 2.5 by 4.5. Excuse me. And I really like this. It has the built-in 1/4 inch, and it has here for the peak. So I'm hoping that the camera will pick up tonight for you, and you're going to be able to see how nicely this squares. So I like these. They keep my fingers safe. I'm not trying to upsell anybody. I'm just telling you how fabulous these are. They slide with ease, and I have no issues squaring when I'm working with these rulers. And so I'll do a couple of these and show you, and then we'll move right along to building some blocks out and see how many stars we can make tonight. If you have any questions for me tonight, it's kind of like, feel free, ask me anything tonight. Joe's on the back end, and if he says something, he'll say something to me and let me know to look up and read and read and read. So I am sorry about hacking on you all. Trust me, you don't want this. I don't want to pass no internet bug to you. Hello, Bob, and welcome. Correct. Hello, hello, and welcome. So I'm just going to keep squaring these down, or squaring them up, I guess you say, and lining them up and making them look all pretty. In order to make the flying geese for this block, I did use a 3-inch by 5-inch. That's why you're seeing a good bit of waste here. But trust me, it will be put to use. Day was collecting scraps. She is finished with these little tidbits, and now Mitzi is doing the same thing. So what I'll be doing is bagging and bringing to our retreat and passing them along. I hate to see any waste. And I really just don't like waste. We pay a lot for our fabric, and I want to get the most out of it. So let me see. I've got 3 more whole blocks to square, and then we'll be able to party all night long. So let me see. 1, 2. Let's get these going like this. Let me see. Thought of the fabric and thought of you. You'll never know what this meant to me. You really won't. I love good, fun projects, making me think outside of the box and trying to be creative. Down on the long arm, I've already loaded the panel, and I've got it ready to show you guys, and I'm so stoked at the way it's going to come out. It's going to be so cool. And the goal was to do that tomorrow, but trust me, that's not going to happen. When you're hacking, that's the one place you don't want to be, is on the long arm. Not when you're trying to do some really fun quilting. Janine, hello, sweetheart, and welcome. If I missed anybody, I really am sorry. I don't mean to. So let me see. Let me just get these lined up. I have it in my head how I have to do things, you know. I have to be organized all the way. And Candace, I put that chicken fabric to use. And I'm using it on the Harper quilt that you had sent for a giveaway. Yeah, I'm using it. I forgot to give it away, and I was going to take it to retreat, but it was so fitting for Harper. I'm flipping it and using it for her quilt. I think you're going to love the outcome, and the recipient as well is going to love it. So I think it'll be really cool to see the outcome. So let me, there's always a method to my madness. As I organize and set things up, I have to do it in an order, or I get all jammed up here. Don't forget to give the thumbs up. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate that. Yes, please let YouTube know that you do like the content that we're putting out. Let me see, Debbie. Howdy, Pads. You guys are amazing. So I've got these last three, but you know how to use the ruler. So I'm going to skip past that and we'll start some assembly. Because that's where all the fun is, right? When we get to assemble stuff and be creative. So this row here is all ready. So I'll show you how we're going to work it. And I need these to go the right way, or I want to be a happy girl. And this is the way that I organize when I'm doing the bulk sewing, and it works for me. And I hope that if you guys try something like this, you'll see it helps streamline, helps pick up the pace if you're doing the same thing over and over. And it's just a fun way to get things done in a timely fashion, but yet still be the creative that you wish to be. Paid the rent. Thank you. Thank you. So what has everyone done today on this beautiful Labor Day? That one's not ready. I'm trying to do a lot in a little bit of time. And just make sure that you're keeping them in whatever order works for you. And they will turn out just beautiful. As you can see, I did have to use a few filler blocks. Watched Police Card Chase with my grandson. Ooh. Hopefully nothing really bad, but if they're chasing them, you know, you stay out of the way and stay safe. I bet you were that grandma chasing that cop car to see the end result. I'm working on sewing up a dress. Awesome. Speaking of dresses, this year on the channel, I've done Project Dress a Girl for many years. And I thoroughly love Project Dress a Girl, don't get me wrong. But I will be collecting dresses, but this year I'm taking a little time out, self-inflicted, and not pushing the project Dress a Girl. There's no rhyme or reason. I've passed off everything that I have, and I just am slowing down a little bit and focusing on me right now. So if you wish to mail anything for Project Dress a Girl, feel free, and I will take it down and deliver it. She's like 2.5 hours and some change from me, and Marty really appreciates all that we do. And when you sew, I have a question for you guys. Do you sew one block at a time, or do you guys sew multiple blocks at the same time? I'm just curious. Hello, Betty. Welcome to tonight's live. I have a Christmas gift on my long arm. Awesome. And I'm going to love it when it gets here. I'm teasing you. So, this is the way that I like to work blocks, and it seems to work for me. I'd chain piece those blocks. That's what I'm going to do. And just get them rolling. But I wanted to see. Hold on. I have to find my sweet spot. I took a nap today. I need to do them this way. Excuse me. So here we go. I like to do them like this. And don't mind me looking down. I like to make sure everything be lined up. Yeah, see? Overachiever, all of you. What do you mean, overachiever? I don't understand. It just makes sense in my head to do them this way. And not all of the legs of the star blocks are the same. So I have to remember, just keep moving, and one up, one down, one up, one down. And when I bring it back around, I will have it. And for those that don't know, let me show you this. I get asked a lot how I don't lose my points. And this is exactly how I don't lose my points. And I'm hoping that you can see this. You see this white line here, or seam. There's this X that comes here. Stay right to the tip of this side of the X. Like right here, you have your X. Put yourself a wee little mark if you need to. But that should be right at your 1/4 inch, and serve as a reminder, don't sew on this side, you must stay on this side. And if you do that, you will not lose your points. I try to, but I usually screw it up. It makes sense to my brain too. I'd chain piece everything I can, yes. It makes it go faster, but I also like to sit and enjoy the journey sometimes, you know? That one up. But these squirrels, I tell you what, my long arm room now is honestly decorated with squirrels too. Y'all have created a monster here, I tell you. Just sit here and make sure that you're matching them up on the other side. And then I'll cut these apart. for. That's my excuse, Donna. Enjoy the journey. There you go. Life's not a race. Honestly, it's not a race. Hey, I also got a question for you. I've come up with this fabulous idea, and you know how I like good ideas, right? Yeah. Today I was playing with tidbits. I'm going to say tidbits for now. But we all throw away so much fabric. Whether it's just the end strips that we cut off, the salvages, whatever the case may be. So, you know how every year, it seems like everybody's doing a temperature quilt. And I bomb. I mean, I get started and I do with good intent. I can do this. I know I can. Well, I'm going to try something different this year, and it is not going to be a temperature quilt. And as I work out the logistics on the back end and how I want this project to roll out, I think you're going to like it, and I hope that a few of you join in for the journey. It's going to be fun. In theory, let's just say in theory right now, it's going to be fun. We'll have to wait and see. That's Mike. So you do you, boo. Yes, most definitely. You do you. And if I don't have all of these lined up perfect, you know what? We'll figure it out in the end. It will be okay. I know, dead air, Joe. Oh my God. This man over here. He starts humming and do to remind me dead air. I have to focus. And I love him to pieces. He cracks me up. So anyway, I'm going to turn and press. And I have to watch what I'm doing so I don't burn my fingers. So type some comments in the chat, and as soon as I turn around, I will read them and answer. And I know it's quite rude to turn my back on you guys, but my ironing station is tied up with the Harper Strong, the Garden for Harper project, and I don't want to take it off just to be able to iron over there. And if you've seen one thing ironed, you've seen a million. So I don't think that's going to be a thing tonight. And I like to take this part and put the peak towards the center of the block. It makes it lay so much nicer, and you don't have that puffy center, I guess is the word I use. I'm not forgetting to talk. I'm just trying to hurry. There. So now we've got all these done. Spill more of the tea. I can give you ideas of the way I wish for this project to go. Stairs for a few minutes. Did you give update on Eric's car? There you go, honey. Figure it out as you go. Absolutely. So the other thing I like to do, and some might like it and some might not, is I like to pin both sides. That way when I get down to one side and I come up the other, the block will be done. So I hope that works in your head, but it works in mine. And I just sit for a couple minutes and pin, and then I flip the block and pin this side, and walla bing, walla bang, you have this all ready to go. And then you just keep doing the same thing for all of them. And within a few minutes, you have everything nice and tidy and ready to roll. I heard Tiff say he needs a new radiator. What? What happened to Eric? You have to fill me in. I didn't. I had to you. I'm missing so much. That's my excuse. Enjoy the journey. Yes. Watch out the bus. There's no bus coming tonight. The girl's too tired to drive it. Whatever this cred is, it's just ugh. Pat, I heard Tiff say needs a new radiator. Thanks. Oh, the tea. This is my mindset. And I don't want to spill all of the tea tonight because I'm still figuring out a lot of it. But what I'm doing is, you know how we all throw our scraps in a bin, or we throw them in the trash, whatever. What I've done is I have my bucket here and it's nothing but scraps for the day. So this is all of the stuff that would be going to the trash for today, cut away from all of this project. And what I've done is pressed it all out, and I'm just going to keep building it and building it until I get a decent sized strip sets, and then I'll discuss more of the project. But that's what I'm doing on the back end. I don't want to waste, but my idea, and I can, let me know with a heart if you like the idea. Everybody does these temperature quilts, and I love them. They turn out beautiful, but in theory, I don't stick with it. I really don't. I started and then I play catch up. They look beautiful. I get jelly belly because I'm not throwing Janine under the bus, but I'm just saying, I'm showing hers because I fell in love with hers. She went the extra mile with hers and put anniversaries and birthdays and really made it look beautiful. Well, I didn't. I did hot and cold, and that was it. Eric was supposed to be on Tiff's last night, but the car broke down. Aw. He's such a sweetheart. I hate that for him. So that's what I mean. I never quilted it yet. Oh my. I quilted mine and it's in the living room as a reminder to, I love them, but I'm not doing it again. I won't do one. I'm not going to say never, but it's going to be a very long time. So my mindset, the way I'm thinking, and I want to see what, I'm gauging you tonight. I'm not putting a poll in the chat. I don't feel like setting all that up, but I'm thinking along the lines of how many projects do you do in a year? On average, we all do 12 to 20 on average projects. Bianca, hello, sweetie, and welcome. So, with that being said, how cool would it be if we could take those scraps, turn the scraps into strips as a memory of all the quilts that we made in 2026. You're upcycling your scraps. You're keeping this project for yourself. You would just sew them together instead of throwing them in the trash bin. Do it as a warm-up in the morning. You don't have to sew them all in one day, you know, just a little bit here, a little bit there, until you get them all sewed up. Turn them into strips, turn them into other blocks after you get that far. So I average, honestly, I want to say about 20 to 30, sometimes 40 quilts a year. And that's a lot of fabric to honestly just keep throwing away. So I'm thinking of, I don't know what I would name it, but I think it would be cool if we did a project that would utilize those little tiny scraps. No one's going to police you to see if you did it. Yes, Debbie, I'm going out of my comfort zone, so I'm in the driver's seat right now because I have to do organized. I can't see how this would. Kind of like a memory. So you would have it and you would be able to look back at all of the fabrics choices and remember the journey of the quilt that you did. So it'd be kind of like a memory quilt in a way, but I don't know what I would call it. I just think it would be fun to, once I get all of it worked out in my head, but that's the gist of it, using up all of your scraps and being creative. And in talking today, and shooting the idea past her, she thought it was a good idea as well. So if I do this, and if I run this, you are in charge of your own project, number one. I will set up a Facebook group, some messenger group per se, that from time to time, if you wish to share where you're at in your project, you can do it, or you can share it over on Ying's Pen Pals. But at the end of the year, how cool is this going to be? I will take the top 5 quilts. They just need to be flimsies. They don't need to be quilted. So we would do this January to December and just use up all of your tidbits and scraps. And I will give away a gift card for Fat Quarter Shop, and I will give away a legit kit. Now, what do you think of that? I think it's a fun way that we can use up all of our stuff and see how creative you can be with, some would call it trash, I call it treasure, you know? But just see how creative you can actually be. You know, you can make them into stars. I want to figure out, are we going to allow background fabric? I really would like it to be just the scraps, nothing added. I don't want you to pull from your fabric at all. I would want you to just use only the scraps. So let me know in the comments if that sounds like something you would be interested in. I think it would be fun. It would definitely challenge us all beyond all challenges. And it's still in the works. I choose to do my birth year and place. That way I could do it more of a normal schedule. I am waiting for my long armor to get back from vacation. I see that. So if you like the choice, the way I'm thinking, drop me a heart in the chat. I want to take you beyond all of your I want all as creative as you can get with just your scraps. So no background fabric at all except what you use on your project. Yep. Because if I'm giving away a $400 legit kit, a full-size one, I want to see some creativity. I need to add the background or something to it. I want to see how creative everybody can be. So if you're down for this, I think it would be fun. I will be getting more information, and I will do a standalone video on this, and I will tell you all of the details. I'll work with Day on the back end. If we pull from my idea is, if we're pulling from our stash and we're using a background fabric, let's be for real, is that actually using up all of your scraps? The idea of this would be to use your scraps. Now, that doesn't mean cut an extra yard and say it's there. Most of my backgrounds are the same, cut in a natural. There you go. So I think it would be fun, and it would run a year. And I will take all of the quilts. I'm trying to avoid these buses. Zaza, no buses, baby, no buses. I'm just trying to, I think it would be fun. There's no other way of putting it. I want to use up, when I was up here working the other day and I saw all of this waste, and that's what it was. It's just waste. I was like, I can't believe this. You know, that's a lot. And to be just throwing it away, if I measured it out, I'm not kidding, there would be yardage, and I'm talking yardage. So this is a good way to incorporate. Can you use leftover fabric from projects or just cut off scraps? I haven't decided yet, but I will take any input. If you have input into this, I think it would be fun to have other people's ideas. You know, I can use the cutoffs of the backings from finished quilts. Yes, that would be part of the project. But that doesn't mean put 3 extra yards on the back. You know what I mean? As example. But I'll do 2 giveaways. Like I said, one will be a fat quarter shop and the other one would be a legit kit from my stash. And we'll have it figured out how we'll do this, all the behind the scenes. But basically, everybody that enters and wants to do this, you'll have to respond to me via an email once I get it all figured out in my head, how I want this to work. You don't have to do the check-ins, but you can drop your sneak peeks or whatever into the Ying's Pin Pal. And in the end, like in our groups here and things like that, you can say stuff like, ooh, I did 2 projects this week and can't wait to see what I come up with. You know, things like that. But let's see who can be the most creative using their scraps. Let me see. I want to read and see. I read that one. Zaza, staying away from the bus. Can you use leftover fabrics from projects? Yes. I can use the cutoffs? Yes. I can empty Benny? Yes. No. 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 It has to be a project that you're working on. And I have to think of a way that when we get into the contest portion, that you can show a picture of that quilt and the scraps from that quilt. Because it wouldn't be fair for you to just dig in Benny, make a quilt, and sit on it for a year. I'm using that as example. I have to think in the back end how we can work this. Let me see. I've got a ton of leftover fabrics, but you got to realize it's for your projects for all of 2026. So whatever you work on in 2026 is where you would design your own quilt, using predominantly scraps. Now, if your pattern I'm using as an example, if your pattern honestly calls for a yard of fabric and you go buy 3 or 4 extra yards for that, no, that doesn't count. That's going to count against you. I do use 108 backings, but I also usually make a big quilt. You always make a big quilt. Yep, Dahlia, I use leftover 108s to complete smaller. Yes. I can do it with leftovers, yes. So, let me see. Does it sound like we have enough interest to do this? I think it would be fun. I have not pushed this out there because I've been thinking about it for a little bit, and then today started to write down some things and to see the direction I want this to go. What if I started a quilt in 2025, but I'm still working on it in 26? Nope, gotta be 25, 26. It starts in January. If it's going to be a quilt for 2026, but I'll think about it. I'll really give it some thought. If I make a cotton cuts quilt, can I use the ups kit? Yep, it's part of the project. I'll play along, but it'll take forever. Let me see how I want to say. If we do this December, January to December, January, February, March. How about March 1st, 2027, we do the contest. We let the subscribers pick the winners. How do you think that would work? We'll put a poll out and we'll get this going really cool. What do you think? I know I stopped talking, but I was joking. Let me see. I'll play along. Charlotte, if you only make a couple of quilts in a year, then make a wall hanging. Yes. Hold on. Let me see. I want to see what Miss Pat say. Hold on. I doubt if I'd finish enough projects to create enough scraps to make a quilt without going into my other scraps. I might sew along and use other scraps. I just disqualify myself. Make it into a wall hanging. Bigger is not always better, but I will work on the back end to figure all this out. You know what I mean? But I don't see a problem if you're only making, as example, maybe 2-3 quilts a year, then make a wall hanging. But if you're one of these quilters that make 30 plus, 20 plus, then yeah, I think you could squeak in your scraps and make a bigger quilt. How about January to the end of November? And you have the month of December to make the flimsy. That's still not going to be the whole year though, Day. It needs to run calendar year. You think? We'll work it out in the back end. But if we're making it run for 12 months, we can't cut out 1 month. That wouldn't be fair because a lot of people do Christmas projects. They might want to add into this project. Okay, to craft, that's an idea. Yeah. It's just me that has to go big or go home. No, I'll probably do something. I'm not in it, but I think I'm going to be sewing along with you because I want to use up these scraps. December is tough with holidays. Just take your scraps, throw them in a bin, you know? You don't have to sew them right then, you know? That's my point. If we run it from January to December, and you have till March the 1st to have your flimsy built, I think that's more than enough time. That way nobody be rushing, unless you start in October and go to October. I don't know. We got too many kickoff projects. We've got Heather's going over here, you know? And I don't want people to get overwhelmed when they have their own creative stuff to do. I don't know. After the live, I get on the Zoom and anybody can put some input in. I can't create at your speed. Some of my quilts have been getting on the big side. Yes, they are, and I'm so proud of you. Unless you start, I did that. Janine said hey earlier, but you must have missed it. That sounds like a plan. January to December and have your project done by March. I think that give everybody a chance to really, no one wants to work on a contest, you know, at Christmas time. That's asking too much. I would never do that. But I'm really curious at just how creative everybody can be. Donna, I'm newer to quilting. That's okay. It doesn't matter if you're brand new or you're seasoned. This is all for fun in a way to use your creative minds. I'm using as example, not telling you to do it. I'm using the word I don't care, but I don't mean it in the way it's going to sound. You can make a quilt top. You can make a rug. You can make a great big basket, whatever. It's a scrap challenge. That's it. And I think it would be fun. We would really be using a creative side of the brain. Absolutely. And if you want to push this over on your channel, feel free to. And we can, the more in it, the better. I think it would be fun. Oops, I think your idea, January to December, would be fantastic. Yes. Better timeline to finish in March. Yeah. Just, if I'm just spilling a little bit of the tea right now, I don't have it all worked out, and I would be lying to you if I said I did. I will have all of it figured out here in the next week or so, all of the behind the scenes stuff. But I think it would be really fun to just see how creative you can be with your scraps. Rachel, there's a lot of us that have only been quilting for a few years and still working at getting better. Absolutely, Dave. Make a collage quilt. There you go. It can be anything. Ooh, I need another rug. Stuffed animals, sofa pillow. If you can use all of your scraps in a stuffed animal, and I'm not talking stuffed animal with it, I say go for it. But I want to see how you could make a stuffed animal family, you know? It's just another way to upcycle our scraps and have fun with it. And I'm not putting boundaries on it, and I don't want to hear anybody saying, well, she said it has to be a quilt. No, I didn't. It can be a quilt coat. It can be curtains for your house. It can be car seat covers. It can be whatever you want it to be. The idea is it doesn't end up in the landfill, and you are very, very creative. You know? So I don't want you to limit yourself to, oh my gosh, I have to make a quilt. You don't. You can make it into strips, and so the strips like a jelly roll, whatever. See, Donna, you get us thinking. That's what it's all about. I want you to think outside the box. I think it's a great idea and would be fun to do. Yeah. Table runner probably would be fine. It just has to incorporate scraps from each project, and you're going to need pictures. That's where this check balance is going to come in, because when we get down to the judging part, you have to show that these are scraps that went into a project and the project that it came from, because it wouldn't be fair for everybody to just dig into a scrap bin and do it. This is why it's called the 2026, you know? I think it would be a blast to see how this is going to come together. And from time to time, you get to sew and see how creative. You might even start something and change the direction because, ooh, I like that idea better. And we can come together and just chat. But you have to use all the scraps from the project to make a new project, not just pieces. Yes, you need to use up all of them. Picnic or campfire quilt, absolutely. I'm trying to learn to be scrappy. Now, in my case, I use scraps to make my quilts anyway, so how would you judge mine? I'm going to toss that today. And to Janine. And to Tracy Louise, my moderators. Hip. Now, in my case, I use scraps. I get that. I have to figure that out. Like I said, this is a birth. This is the birthing of the idea. I have to work out all the back end stuff. I am continuing what I started this year and working on starting quilts. I already kitted up and worked through my webs. So I'm sure I can generate plenty. I think it would be fun. It would be like a quilt I made for my nephews out of scraps. All the cousins' quilts, 10 quilts combined in one. There you go. Debbie, you don't always use scraps. You use fat quarters, yardage. Yeah, I don't want this to turn into a thing where it's going to be overthunk and no, because I won't do it. I'll just drop the ball right now. I just want it to be fun. That's the goal. Competitive and fun and make you think. That's the goal. Make you think outside of the box. And I think it would be really fun to see the creativity. And the reason I said you need to use the scraps from that project for those is really simple, because it's going to force you to cut tight and not overbuy for that one thing, if that makes sense. That way, if you're using all of your scraps, like I showed you today, this is all of these scraps from this project. And I just took a little bit of time, and no rhyme, no reason. And yes, Debbie, it's making me itch and it's driving me crazy. But this is all of these scraps that's from this project sewed together. And then I'll keep sewing it together, and then you can cut it out into something else. That's the point here, is just to have fun. If that makes sense. And I'm hoping it does. Let me see. Debbie, you don't always use scraps. Got that. Delia, I will mix them with scraps. Wait till you see my project for retreat. I'm so proud of you. Show a picture of the first quilt as proof, and then you can use the scraps. Yes. If that makes sense. Well, the mods, if you want to join Zoom after the live here in a couple of minutes for just a minute or two, we bounce some ideas, I would appreciate it. Sounds like whatever you cut up next year is fair game. Yep. If you cut it for that project, fair game. Overthinking it, yeah, love it. Yeah, I don't want it to be overthunk. I don't want it to be a thing. And if you're a channel holder, share this with your channel members. Tell them to come over here and play with us, because I think it would be fun to get all of our channels together and see how creative we can be. Like, I could be funny here and say, okay, if one of my subscribers win and one of Debbie's win, but that's not fun, because we all know everybody watches everybody's channel. Ain't nobody belonging to nobody. We're all a big happy quilting family. Janine, that's how I see it. That's a lot of scraps from one quilt. It really is. That's what I'm saying. So if I was doing, I'm just playing with this right now, because the only reason I have that much is because I miscut and I changed directions on the block. So the fabric I picked out is also in this stack, if that makes sense, Pat. But I just wanted to show as an example tonight how much we actually throw away. Because if I wasn't doing this challenge, it would be going into a scrap bag to be mailed off to someone. It's like my Kona box at a month right now. I'm making the same block with 1 inch, I can't say numbers, one inch square, 1 inch half square triangle. I love doing that. Then you can decorate a pillow or two. Yes, not trying to make it a chore, just fun, right? Do the main project have to be finished or just started in 2026? We'll get back with all the logistics in the next week or so. We have to work out all the ideas, but this is just the birthing of it. And then I'll have more. You would sew scraps into 3-inch register tape throughout the year and then sew those into. That would be fun too. I never throw anything away. Joe says it sounds like this is going to be a monster. He let me do anything. Oops, did I sew both sides? So almost pulled the pins out thinking I sewed down this side and I didn't. So anyway, I hope all of that makes sense. I didn't intend to spill all that tea tonight, but it gives you an idea to think outside of the box. And like I said, if you are a channel holder, let your subscribers know, please, that we got something brewing, and just build the hype on this. It's going to be fun. And it's a fun way for us as creators to get people coming over to our channels and sharing the love all the way around. So I could press these while I'm sitting here talking to you. Zaza, it can be EPP, yep. The sky is the limit. You are in charge of your own destiny. You make your own project, whatever you want it to be. Like, when I got this panel, I didn't think I was going to be making stars with it, but there's no way I could just leave that hook to the panel and throw it on the long arm. I was like, I have to make something fun. So, who knows, I might even frame a few of them and put them on my long arm walls. I don't know. I just love the thought that I was thought of that much. I needed to make something special. What is the smallest piece of scrap you can use? We'll work all that out here in just a minute, Tracy Lewis. All right, if you can slip onto Zoom when we end this. So, guys, it sounds like we got some planning to do. So, you guys take care. God bless. Have a fabulous night. I'm going to slip over and talk to the mods for a few minutes, and then this girl is going back to bed. So, you guys, thank you for coming. I hope I've stirred the brain and not got you all too confused. So I'll see you again on Friday night. Have a fabulous week.